Throughout my entire life, I felt like I came very late to my family, because I was the youngest sibling. And no, I'm not just simply the youngest, the last member. No, I was the literal baby. I am so much younger than my siblings, so much that I never even saw them as my siblings when I was young. You know, in elementary school, you get those sheets that have questions on them like, do you have a pet? Do you like vegetables? Do you have a father, or did he say he wanted that milk? You'd have to ask other classmates if they were qualified for those questions. Yeah, there was one question that said, are you an only child? And someone asked me that, and I said yes to it. Because I was like, well, my siblings are adults, so yeah, I'm an only child. I'm saying this because as a kid, they did not feel like siblings. My sister is 14 years older than me, and my brother is 11 years older than me, which means they were already in their double-digit age when I was born. Since they already became closer to being adults ever since I could remember, I saw them as an extra pair of guardians, my parents, and my adult siblings, all taking care of this little numbskull. That's me. Even as a kid, I felt like both of them were belittling me because of our humongous age gap. It felt like they were both looking down to me, as if I'm not even close to the same level as them. They knew a lot more than me, and it made me feel really small next to them. But nowadays, plus I've matured more since then, they don't really see me as that little kid anymore. In fact, I'm actually taller than both of them. Who's the one looking down now? Okay, well, I may not have been mistreated as much as I said, but it sure felt like it back then. You know, my siblings, especially my sister, she knew so much about me already, and I was very predictable to her. Because she got to babysit me and watch me develop as I aged, she knew every next move I would take. She took advantage of that in certain cases. Like, one time we were playing a card game called Cheat. This game is about placing down cards of a certain number ascending. For example, it starts with ace. Then the next person has to put down 2 of any amount. Then 3, then 4, then so on. Obviously, you won't have the right cards for it every turn, so you'd have to lie. This game is mainly about bluffing, and if someone could tell that you're bluffing, you're gonna pay for the consequences. And those consequences are taking the whole deck. But anyway, my sister knew exactly when I was bluffing. It was so obvious to her. Now, I'm not this type of person, but I could never tell when someone is bluffing. Because someone can easily do the old switcheroo and I'd never notice. How does my sister know that much about me? I mean, she'd obviously know, she's my sister. But like, how? Not only does she know when I'm bluffing, she just knows a lot about my personality and weaknesses since she saw me grow up. She knows that I'm the kind of person that can easily feel embarrassed, even over the littlest things. Whenever my kid self would come up with a good comeback to sound smart and outgoing, my sister would just laugh along to my saying, and it would make me want to crumble in a hole and die. Because she didn't feel the way I was expecting. I'm really not exaggerating. I really can get that embarrassed. Please don't take advantage of that. It's not fun to feel embarrassed. I guess my sister can just easily make the situation more awkward for me, but more entertaining for her. It's for her amusement, and I hate it. There's nothing more sinister than being with your sister along with her group of friends, just treating you like a little puppy who's completely innocent of this cruel world. Ethan, what grade are you in now? I'm in grade 4. Aw, so cute. Back then, I've always had a certain hatred for my sister. Look, it was unmutual sibling rivalry, and I was a kid who had no sense of maturity and understanding. Actually, it wasn't really hatred. It was jealousy, which is probably even worse. I would get super jealous when my siblings would accomplish great things, and I felt super behind, wanting to catch up to their greatest achievements. But I am lazy, so why need that sweet feeling of gratification when you can just go to bed? Now that I think of it, my brother was definitely a lot more similar to me than my sister. I wasn't his close friend really, but we were just on the same level of quiet. Not much to say, just chillin'. You know what? After all this time, I don't see my siblings as much as I did. It's mainly because both of them are out of the house, and it's rare when they show up. So it's kinda just awkward actually seeing them. Most of the time when I see my siblings, we just say, "Hey Ethan." "Hi." And then we part ways until we meet again. I don't really befriend my siblings very much, as I'm not very social, even with the closest people I know. But with how little we meet each other, we don't really have good things to talk about together, since we all have nothing in common. But I guess it's great to have siblings in case, right? It's far off the list of things I do last. You know, even though my sister can still baby me, I'm kinda over it now, especially since she has a baby. She's definitely not going to see me like that anymore when she's got her own bundle of joy in her own hands. I do hope to be an amazing uncle when he grows up, and I hope he looks up to me as a father figure. And I hope to achieve more, and become more successful than my siblings in the future. It would feel great knowing that my siblings are always reaching out for advice from me, even though they have longer knowledge and experience than me. In the end, they're my siblings, and I love them.